Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a seriously fascinating real-world marketing case study today. Have you ever wondered what happens when a brand that's basically been sitting quietly on a shelf for years, suddenly, and I mean overnight, becomes the talk of an entire nation? Well, that's exactly what happened with Parlay Melody. Today, we're unpacking the Parlay Melody story, and it is absolutely the ultimate masterclass in taking unexpected, viral buzz and converting it into explosive long-term business growth. So whether you're running a brand yourself or you just love a really good comeback story, settle in because the lessons here are just brilliant. Okay, let's start with a massive number, 4,000. We're talking about a literal 4,000% explosion in Google searches. Now, normally if you want a spike like that, you'd need a multi-million-dollar ad campaign, right? Or an A-list celebrity endorsement. But Parlay got absolutely none of those. Instead, this entire frenzy was triggered by an unexpected diplomatic moment between world leaders that just happened to draw attention to the word melody. Boom. Just like that, it created the biggest free marketing campaign in the company's history. It was pure internet magic. But as we're going to see, magic really only gets you so far without a rock-solid strategy. So to understand how to actually pull off a brand revival when lightning strikes like this, we'll walk through this playbook in 5 phases. We'll start with the unexpected viral miracle, then look at the marketer's ultimate dilemma, how to actually convert that buzz into sales, scaling the supply chain, and finally, their global diaspora expansion strategy. Let's jump right into part 1, the unexpected viral miracle, or how they went from forgotten to phenomenon. What's really wild here is how fast this all escalated, especially since there was zero marketing spend driving it. You have this casual diplomatic exchange that goes viral, and suddenly, social feeds are just flooded with memes. The word melody sparked this intense, nostalgic curiosity. People who honestly hadn't thought about this childhood toffee in decades were suddenly desperate to taste it again. And within hours, literally just hours, this pure, unprompted curiosity completely wiped out online inventory. Major e-commerce platforms were totally sold out. So for Parlay, this wasn't just a funny internet joke anymore. It was a colossal, sudden surge in real-world demand. Which brings us to part 2, the marketer's ultimate dilemma. Do you just ride the wave, or do you actively steer the ship? This is a massive crossroads for any brand team, right? You essentially have 2 distinct paths. You could just passively enjoy it, let the trend run its natural course, quietly enjoy a nice little spike in sales for a week or 2, and then just let the brand fade back into obscurity because, let's face it, viral attention has an incredibly short lifespan. Or you actively invest. You treat this as a golden business opportunity. You actually spend money and actively market to transform this fleeting hype into a strong, long-term brand revival. The goal here isn't just to sell more candy for a week. It's to fundamentally reclaim market share. Assuming you make the bold choice to actively invest, we hit part 3, converting buzz into sales, also known as the revival playbook. The whole objective here relies on a classic marketing funnel, but it's supercharged by viral momentum. Step 1 is curiosity, and the internet basically handed them that for free. But then you've got to systematically move people to step 2, trial. You need them to actually buy that first pack. Once they've tasted it, you push them to step 3, repeat purchase. And finally, the holy grail, step 4, long-term loyalty. You literally have to guide the consumer all the way from that first nostalgic Google search straight down into becoming a lifelong customer again. It's a framework that applies to reviving absolutely any business. To actually pull this off, Parlay needed a battle plan, and that was the Melody is Back campaign. They deployed some incredibly precise digital tactics to capture all that attention. First, they launched the Melody Challenge to really harness that user-generated nostalgia, getting people to share their childhood memories online. Then they brought the brand straight into the present day by teaming up with influencers, comedians, and lifestyle creators. That made it feel fun and relevant for today's generation, not just some dusty old memory. And my absolute favorite tactic? Releasing limited edition packaging with QR codes that linked directly to digital contests. They took a simple piece of candy and turned it into an interactive digital touchpoint. Brilliant. But listen, here is the hard truth about marketing. Nostalgia alone isn't enough to sustain sales long term. Once that initial warm, fuzzy feeling wears off, why would someone keep buying it? You have to give them fresh reasons to purchase, and that means aggressive product innovation. They couldn't just rely on the classic version of the candy. So they introduced exciting new variants, things like the Melody Mini, a really decadent Melody Choco Center, larger family packs for sharing at home, and beautifully designed festival gift packs. This kind of product expansion is exactly how you lock in that repeat purchase and long-term loyalty we were just talking about. But of course, you can't sell what you don't have. Let's move to part 4, scaling the supply chain, or the operations reality check. Because I promise you, while the marketing team is popping champagne, the supply chain managers are probably panicking. Yeah, here is the dark side of going viral. Sudden, massive demand creates immediate stockouts. Think about it. If a consumer finally decides to try your newly viral product, they go to the store or hop online, and the shelf is empty, they're going to get frustrated. And worse, they'll just buy a competitor's candy instead. If you don't fix product availability right away, by doing things like expanding raw material contracts or adding extra manufacturing shifts, then your brilliant viral marketing is effectively just doing free advertising for your competitors. So, how do operations actually keep up? Well, they can't just wait around for the factory to run out of sugar. Instead of reacting to shortages after they happen, operations has to rely on data. By analyzing Google search trends by region, tracking real-time retail sales data, keeping a tight loop of distributor feedback, and monitoring e-commerce patterns, the whole system becomes proactive. When you layer all these specific data streams together, the supply chain team can actually forecast and anticipate exactly where that next wave of demand will hit, way before the shelves ever go empty. And it's super fascinating to look at where exactly that product is going. Despite the fact that this buzz was generated 100% online, traditional retail, kirana stores, still make up a massive 70% of the backbone for these impulse purchases in India. People see a meme on their phone, and then they grab the candy at their local corner shop. That means operations has to maintain a really delicate balance. They have to ensure that 70% flows reliably to traditional retail, while still strategically managing the 30% that's going to modern supermarkets, e-commerce, and those 10-minute quick commerce delivery apps. Finally, let's look at part 5, the global diaspora expansion strategy. Because how do you take a localized viral moment and turn it into serious international revenue? Well, this ultimate expansion play proves that viral buzz isn't just local. The internet is truly global. This incredible momentum provided a unique entry point to accelerate exports. The strategy was to target specific countries: the UAE, the UK, Canada, Australia, and Singapore. And why those? Because they all have a really high Indian diaspora population. These are consumers who already have a built-in emotional connection and deep nostalgia for this candy from their childhoods. You don't even have to educate this market. They saw the memes, they remember the taste, and now they just need to see the product on their local shelves. It's such a brilliant, efficient way to expand globally. Looking back at this entire journey, Dr. Mohan N. in our source text perfectly summarizes this case study. He notes that great branding does not always begin with a marketing budget. Sometimes it begins with an unexpected cultural moment, and he is absolutely spot on. The initial spark might be totally free, just a happy accident of the internet, but the real magic, the sustained business growth, that only happens when you pair those unexpected cultural moments with really strategic marketing and highly agile, data-driven operations. It just goes to show that a forgotten toffee really can become a beloved brand all over again. But it takes timely, decisive action. And that brings us to the end of today's explainer. I want to leave you with the thought to chew on. What forgotten brand will the internet revive next? And more importantly, when that lightning strikes, will it actually be ready to capitalize on it? Think about the brands from your own childhood, or even elements of your own business. Any of them could be next. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today as we broke down this incredible strategic case study. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I will catch you in the next explainer.